So today was the UFC 324 weigh-ins. Obviously, the event is tomorrow, and it was mostly like an uneventful weigh-ins. You know, everyone kind of made weight, apart from Davison Figueiredo. He missed weight by like 2.5 pounds, and also this Cameron Smotherman like fainted on the stage. I'm going to show you the video in a minute here. Basically, he weighed in, got off the scale looking very shaky. As he's walking, you can really see him like progressively go like limper and limper, like losing control of his body. And then as he reaches the end of the stage, he just falls flat on his face, unconscious. And it was actually quite scary when I first seen it. It was like, whoa, you never see this happen. Maybe you'll see like a fighter be faint and he might like kind of stumble but maybe regain his footing, but you've never really seen a fighter fall flat on their face. I'm going to show you the video, but before I do, please like, subscribe, really helps out, and yeah, let's get into it. So this was today, this was earlier at the UFC weigh-in show. Everyone reacted to it live. Obviously the UFC have the weigh-in show where they have the kind of panel of DC, the presenters, and Laura, what's her name? Laura, the blonde one. Uh, so I'm going to show you the video. I'm not going to show you the full video. I'm not sure if it's going to get taken down for whatever reason, but I'll show you the kind of pictures of it. Laura Sanko, I just remember her name. So this is it here. He just gets weighed in. He's on weight. He's 154 or 134, I think it is. This is bantamweight. So he's walking, and then he just falls. So he's like walking, and then just falls straight on his face, and he's just out cold. Like doesn't you can see him kind of like, twitching about. He's obviously drained like too much weight, and you see like everyone kind of come over. Or you can't see it in this one, but you see his coach come over. This is his coach in the corner just here, and you'll see him he's holding clothes. He's just seen his like friend slash, you know, training partner fall flat on his face, not moving, and he's holding clothes. He's holding his clothes. Like, put the clothes down. You've just seen him like fall on his face, possibly give himself like a brain injury, and you're still holding his clothes. And what are the security doing? Like, this guy is moving so slow. Like, this guy falls like, there's a good like this guy should be sprinting over. He's the UFC security, like personnel or whatever, and he's like casually walking over to this guy, to Smotherman, who's just like lifelessly fell to the floor. I don't like, and then his coach is holding the clothes, like got both arms holding the clothes as if like he hasn't just seen someone like die. So I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, sucks for Cameron Smotherman. His fight was called off because obviously, like, he just was unconscious after weighing in. Hit his head really hard. It wasn't even that he went unconscious; he hit his head really hard. There's actually a picture somewhere. You can actually see there's like it's almost as if his chin has split open, like the underside of his chin, because of the fall. Because obviously when he lands, it is. I'll put this in full screen just to make it easier. He Oh, that doesn't work. Anyway, you can see in when he falls, he hits his chin right. You can see the impact of his head hitting the floor right on the underside of his chin, and there's like a picture of his chin split open, and it's like he's probably got concussion. It's not even that he fainted because of the lack of fluids, lack of water in his body. He also hit his head on the way down. That's like the worst thing to happen ever. So he went to the hospital. There's actually a clip of afterwards. So this is afterwards. This was like from the side. This wasn't official like broadcasting. Someone just got out their phone and then it was this. So they like obviously they're kind of getting him up, but they realize he can't stand. They just pick him up. They have to pick him up because he's like completely out of it. He's completely limp as well. Look, when he goes down the stairs, look how limp he is. His arms hanging, his head's lying to the side. He's completely out of it, and yeah, it really sucks for him. Like obviously, hopefully he's okay. They said he went to the hospital, so hopefully he's going to make a recovery. Obviously, he's not going to fight. Like I said, the fight was called off. And then there was also this clip from. This was on the UFC. Was it TNT Sports broadcast with like um uh, what's his name? Yeah, this one, the with Michael Bisping. That's what I was thinking of. Bisping and the rest of these guys from the UK company, and they actually were, doing their own like live show as this happened, and it's actually quite like it's quite scary because it's well, I'll
I
just show
never
you the
have
clip.
any sympathy for these guys. You got one job: show
Exactly.
up on weight, in shape. That's it.
It's part of the contract, isn't it? You've signed on the dotted line. You've got to go and get the job
You're a
done.
professional fighter. It's not hard, is it? You have months.
Yeah, and it's pretty bit like they're right there. They seen it, or they didn't see it, but they heard it. They were right in front of it. And the thing with this post was it said that Michael Bisping had said, he had never had sympathy for the fighters because like if they miss weight, it's their job to make the weight. And I'll get into what I think about that in a minute, but it's quite funny. It's quite it's a bit well, evil, I guess you could say. Like the timing, rather, not Michael Bisping himself. Like the timing that Michael Bisping has said, he's never had sympathy. You have one job, show up on weight. It's not hard, is it? And then literally as he finishes that sentence, this guy falls over and like forces Michael Bisping to have sympathy. Obviously, it's one of those things. It's like Michael Bisping was staying by his word. Obviously, that's not what he means. He means obviously he's gonna have sympathy for Smotherman. He's just seen him. He just seen him like fall over. Michael Bisping means like, he's gonna have sympathy. He's not gonna have sympathy if they miss weight and they're all like annoyed about it. Obviously, he doesn't want this guy to like fall over and like get a brain injury. But that was a bit funny. That was a bit. I can't lie. That was a bit funny that he said that and immediately this happened with Smotherman like fainting. So that's kind of what happened. And then what was it? Yeah, it's not good. Obviously, people have been saying the UFC should get away with weight cutting, which is like debatable. Obviously, you could go the road with like ONE FC where they have that whole like hydration system where you're supposed to fight your natural weight. But then the other side, it's like Cameron Smotherman shouldn't be, if he can't make the weight, he shouldn't be that low down. And obviously there's the argument that Cameron Smotherman is kind of like a up and comer in the UFC. He's fairly new. He's obviously not going to be getting paid a lot. And I made a video yesterday about the pay in the UFC and stuff like that. And he might not have a lot of money to spend on nutritionists and like so his weight's right. However, that's not really on anyone else other than himself. Like if he thinks he can't make the weight and if he needs to spend like a lot of money to get a nutritionist to have all this food so he can make weight correctly, then he should move up if he can't do that. If he doesn't have the capabilities of making the weight, unless he needs a nutritionist, then he should like be in a different weight class. Because Michael Bisping is correct in this statement. He says like sympathy, like you shouldn't have sympathy for guys who miss weight, and it kind of does apply to Smotherman here because obviously, right, we're taking it out that yeah he fainted, but it is like, and hopefully he's okay. Hopefully nothing long term bad happens to him. But it's you know I think if the UFC will be like, no, you cannot fight at bantamweight, you need to fight at featherweight because they cannot have. This is the first Paramount card, and it's off to this start. It's off to this start, the first Paramount card, and they've just had Smotherman like almost like die on stage. And it's not a good look, so they're probably gonna say to him, like maybe after he's recovered, like right, okay, we can't be having publicity, things like that. We can't be having the first Paramount card. Think of it like this: Paramount have probably seen that and been like the Paramount executives at Paramount Plus have been like, I've like had a heart attack today because it's their first, their first event of the new, subscription service with Paramount Plus, and they're thinking, right, how are we going to bring in all these new people to Paramount Plus for the UFC, right? And they've just seen one of the fighters, like, go unconscious on stage. That's going to turn away a lot of people. If they think, they're going to think, the UFC is some, like, slave corporation where they, like, drain the fighters. So, like, make weight. You got Dana White with a whip. Like, make weight now. You need to drain every bit of water out your body to the point where you are falling over when you're weighing in. So I'm pretty sure when Smotherman recovers, they're going to be like, right, okay, you cannot, after that last thing, what happened, you falling over, you cannot fight at bantamweight. We cannot be having that liability of you like dying on stage publicly. That will not go down with the shareholders. That will not go down with governments. That will not go like who where the UFC or what to get licensed and stuff like that. Because I'm pretty sure there's still a couple of places where they would like to. So that is not going to happen. No more bantamweight for Cameron Smotherman. But again, like I said, hopefully he's okay. Hopefully nothing permanent comes of this and he comes back healthy. But that's kind of all I want to talk about today. Obviously the fights are tomorrow and I'm going to be watching it. I'll give my update after the fights happen. If you want to see my predictions, they're on my channel. I made a video during the week. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Like and subscribe again. Really helps out, and I'll see you later. Bye.